Good morning, everybody. My name is Noah Gilby, and I'll be introducing Mr. Marlon Moore. Mr. Marlon Moore is a man of honor and loyalty. He owns one step at a time, and he's also a bank. He has a master in psychology from Virginia State in Hyattsville, Maryland, Cleveland, Ohio. He has a wife and 2 kids, 2 sisters, and a brother. I'm presenting you Mr. Marlon Moore.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Kelly and Ms. Arundel for inviting me here. Just to clarify one quick thing, I do not own a bank. I wish I did, but I do work for a regional bank out of Cleveland, Ohio. So I bring you greetings. I actually grew up not too far from here in Hyattsville, Maryland, on Chillum Road. Went to Cherokee Lane a number of years ago. Anybody familiar? Is that school still around? I think it's an elementary school. Cherokee Lane, no? Okay, never heard of. So yeah, this was a while ago. But moved to Ohio, been there for a number of years, went to school at Virginia State University. Anybody heard of Virginia State? Yes. 2 hours south of here in Petersburg, Virginia. And so got my master's in psychology. I'm actually working on my PhD in organizational leadership. And through networking, I was able to be here with you all today. So I'm really excited to talk about a number of topics. We're starting off with conflict management. It's going to get really intense. I'm going to push you all a little bit. I'm going to make you think. I'm going to share some personal stories with you all because I believe that if I'm willing to share and open up, you all will do the same. Is that fair? All right, now, come on. Come on. I'm going to need a little bit more. A little bit more. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. So we sitting up? Sitting up?
Yes.
We ready? All right, so we have a couple objectives today, a couple things I want to make sure by the time this workshop is over, we've done. So we want to realize that conflict is all around us and that avoiding it is possible. How many think conflict is a bad thing? Raise your hand. Raise them high. Let me see.
What do you mean by conflict?
Conflict, disagreement, argument, not seeing eye to eye. Is that a bad thing? You all right? Raise your hand. Bad thing? Yes, no? How many people think it's a good thing? Okay. So conflict, not seeing eye to eye, disagreement. Conflict is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Let me say it that way. It's unavoidable. It happens. What makes conflict bad is how we handle the situation. So we'll talk about that. We want to have a candid conversation regarding conflict. We're going to review levels of conflict. All right? And then we're going to discuss tools for dealing with conflict. How many people have been in a fight within the past 2 years? Be honest, if you don't mind. Past year? Past 6 months? Okay. How many people have never been in a fight? Excellent. All right, so a little middle of the road. So we're going to talk about how to avoid that type of conflict. Let me ask you a question. How many people have a girlfriend? How many people have had a disagreement with their girlfriend? Somebody tell me. Wait a minute. Wait. So I said, how many people have a girlfriend? Not too many hands went up. Then I said, how many people have a disagreement? More hands went up. So how many people got a girlfriend? Okay. You said a main? Oh, okay. And how many people had conflict? Conflict? Somebody tell me why. What was the conflict about? Anybody want to share? Okay. Okay, dumb stuff. Now, what we don't want is domestic violence, which is a form of conflict. It's aggression. All right, we've seen too much of that in the news. How many people saw the Ray Rice situation? We all heard about that, right? Messed up his whole career because of domestic violence, not dealing with conflict in the best way. So sometimes we can have a disagreement with our spouse, our mother, our brother, our sisters, and sometimes we can have a conflict within ourselves. How many people have, I know y'all look like pretty fly guys. How many people wake up and say, man, what am I going to wear today? Okay, that's even a form of conflict. How many people go after school and say, open a refrigerator and stare and say, what am I to eat today? You know you should stop doing that, right? It's electricity. Your parents never told you that? So that's a conflict. You're dealing with what decisions am I going to make? So there's inner conflict, there's conflict with other people. So let's talk about levels of conflict. Levels of conflict. I'm going to use two theories and share 2 stories, not stories just yet, but 2 sort of theoretical concepts. So first you see crisis. What's an example of a crisis when you're dealing with conflict?
Like, you get into an argument, you push somebody or fall down the steps, so they go into a coma.
Okay, wow, that's an excellent one. So usually what we see is crisis, all right? Something happens. But before something happens, there's usually a place of discomfort, right? So let's just use an altercation with another gentleman. The fight happens. That's the crisis, correct? Would that be fair? Give me an example of the discomfort that shows before the fight. Yes, sir.
Like somebody was all up on them.
Ah.
A certain person. He was like too close.
Okay. Very good. So discomfort. Perhaps nothing is said yet, but things don't quite feel right. Now again, I like to be a little hands-on, so please, it's a conflict workshop. Nobody do anything out of pocket, okay? Who see what I'm doing?
Yeah, huh? You on me.
Who? I'm on who?
Snake.
Me.
You?
Yeah.
How you feel?
Uncomfortable.
Right. Discomfort. Something don't quite, I know he's sitting there like, why is this man all up in my personal space? Discomfort. Something doesn't quite feel right. Now, crisis would have been what? Huh? I snuck him or he snuck me? Somebody got snuck. Good, okay. So tension, so that's discomfort. Then we got incident. Have a short, sharp exchange. Somebody give me an example of what happens then. Incident?
Oh, somebody, they get smart out there.
Ah, good point. So give me an example of what you could do or say.
Back up.
Back up. No, you wouldn't say it like that. Say it like you would say it.
Back up.
Back up.
Oh, wow. Right. So, wait, but listen. Check out. So, again, crisis. You see how it's building up? Crisis. We're going to back up into it. Discomfort was, he said, man, this don't quite feel right. Why is dude up on me? Now he says something. Back up. Then we move to what?
Oh, bro.
Or misunderstanding. Now, bam. Excellent. Say it again louder.
He took it the wrong way.
He took it the wrong way. So, I really could have been up here because he reminds me of my brother. And I want to connect with him. But he's uncomfortable. Then that leads us to an incident. And really, it's a misunderstanding. Right? I don't mean any harm. What's your name, young man? Chance. I don't mean any harm with Chance. Chance and Marlon, we could really be cool. But something sometimes so small can become so big. What's the next one? Tension. Here relationships are weighed down by negative attitudes. I don't know how Chance feels this morning. Maybe he don't like men in suits or suit jackets. Maybe he think that I'm too fly. Or maybe because I'm from Ohio, those Ohio guys think they all that. Maybe that's what he's sitting with, right? And sometimes those misunderstandings can lead to tension and lead to crisis. Let me share another example with you. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a good drawer, and I'm a little sensitive. So if this doesn't quite look right, try not to laugh, okay? Wait a minute. Somebody laughing already. I didn't even start drawing. All right, let me share something with you all. All right, let me see how I can do this. What's that?
Iceberg. Iceberg.
That's right. Y'all done this before?
No, we saw something like that yesterday.
Oh, really? All right, well, let me blow through this then. So, we just talked about it. Crisis with me and Chance is what?
Tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg. That's what we see. Chance snuck me. All right? That's the tip of the iceberg. What's going on down here?
The discomfort and the incident, like being in his personal space.
Good. What else? Something else I just said.
Attention.
Who?
Attention. Misunderstanding.
Tension. And what was the misunderstanding between Chance and I?
He was too close to him, and he got a little raw with him.
And then what happens? So all you all see, and all people see sometimes, is the tip of the iceberg, but we don't know what's going on here. Let me share a story with you. How many heard of the, and I wanted to show the video clip, but we're pressed for time, and quite honestly, it's a very touchy story, especially being here in Maryland. Ben Wilson, heard the name? Benji?
Yeah.
Y'all saw? Benjamin Wilson, a 30 for 30 special. The young guy was one of the, they said he was the LeBron before LeBron, got shot. So for those who don't know the story, there was a high school athlete probably 20 years ago in your backyard. He was LeBron before LeBron was LeBron. Got murdered by one of his somewhat friends because of a disagreement. Somebody bumped somebody. Benji was having an argument with his girlfriend. Dude took out a gun and shot him. Huh? Actually, you're right. He was in Chicago. You're absolutely right. It was in Chicago. Thank you for correcting that. But let me share a story with you real quick, and then we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna have you do an exercise. So there was this guy in college, frat guy, freshman in college, going through school, got a D on a paper. Got a D. Frat guy, Friday night, got a D, headed to a party. Y'all familiar with fraternities?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens at parties?
Drinking.
Well, not necessarily. Sometimes, yeah, but it was a party going on. So he goes to the party. You know, fraternity guys, they step.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
So they're stepping. They're walking around the party. They're having a good time. One of the guys at the party who wasn't in the fraternity, he cut the line and he bumped him. Now the guy is like, man, you know, you just disrespected me. You bumped me. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now there's tension because of a what? A misunderstanding.
No.
So it's a similar story, but I want to give you a real story because nobody knows Benjamin. Nobody knows Benji. So I'm going to give you a real story about this guy. So he bumps him in a party. Now, this guy goes to his side of the room. He gets his homeboys. The other guy goes and gets his fraternity brothers and says, man, I see them gathering over there. I think something's going to go down. The party lets out. So this guy, frat guy, says, hey, man, you bumped me in the party. That was rude and disrespectful. The local, as he was called, said, you know what, F you. I don't care about your frat. I don't care about you. Punch was thrown. Now there's a fight in the parking lot. So one of the guys, the guy who threw the punch, the local, he kicked the guy in the fraternity, kicked him in the stomach. So the guy, and Chance, I need you to stand up for a second. So the frat guy gets kicked in the stomach. He like, in his head, I cannot believe that who kicks anymore when they fight? But he got kicked in the stomach. So the guy, the local, turned around, Chance turned around. He started running. So the frat guy running right after him, just like this. And before, the distance was probably from where I'm at to where Chance is. Chance, turn around, go on your waistband. As you turn around, go on your waistband, front, pull out your gun, just like that. The only thing that saved my life, you have a seat, Chance, was the fact that he didn't pull the trigger. That frat guy was me. The only way I can stand up here as a senior vice president, a vice president of a $94 billion bank, as the founder and executive director of One Step at a Time, was because one guy didn't pull the trigger. The story about Benjamin Wilson, Benji, that guy pulled the trigger. Benji's no longer here, I am. So that's a real example of how not making the right choices, making wrong choices, letting what's under the surface. Tell me some of the things that was under the surface that guy at the party didn't know. What was I dealing with? Great.
You had a D on the report.
I got a D on my report card below the surface. What else? I was arguing. That happened.
You already upset. You already had like a temper.
I already had a temper, chip on my shoulder, and make it so bad, here we going to a party and I had no money. So I'm already on 10. One guy bumps me in the party, and that almost changed, almost took my life. So I share that to share with you all a real example of how bad choices can lead to major consequences. So what I want you all to do now, Chance, pass these out for me. I want you to think about a time in your life, whether it was yesterday, 2 weeks ago. Think about a time in your life where you had conflict. That's the sheet you have right there. I want us to talk about it, because one of the things that we don't do is communicate and talk. The first tool I want to give you all for handling conflict is to talk to someone. How many people have a best friend? Do y'all talk? Huh?
Yes.
You talk, okay. Do you talk to your parents?
Yes.
Sometimes, maybe not. No, we had 25. If not, just share. It's not a whole lot of information. But if you can just share with the person next to you. And this is an open conversation. Open conversation. Tell me about a time you had a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. I can see the looks on y'all face. Y'all got about 5 stories just sitting there like, I got one. I want to tell it, but I don't know. I just shared mine. Somebody be open. Yeah. Let's work through it together. Huh? Somebody have one?
Does that have to be a long one?
No, not at all. What you saying, my story was too long?
No.
No, you got one? Go ahead.
Like, does that have to be a huge crisis too?
No.
Not like a big crisis, just like when somebody, like when you drop your pen, somebody else tries to take it, but they just trying to get it up for you, and you feel like, bro, you're not saying that.
Okay. How do you handle that?
You're like, bro, you're not saying that.
Y'all agree? We working this out together. So somebody takes a pen. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who took my pen?
Look, what if it's not your misunderstanding? It was like a friend of yours. You were somewhat part of it.
That's a good one. Hold that thought. That's a real good one. We're gonna come to that in just a sec. He said the pen. Misunderstanding, bruh. That's my pen. What should he do? What could he do? But what is he doing? He just put it in his pocket. Wait a minute. No, that's literally my pen. So you did it. You said it right. Hey, give it back. You know what? My bad. Here you go. Turn around and walk away.
He usually don't go like that though.
I know, but why not?
Cause the other person not gonna give me back the pen. No, bro, that's my pen. I got this last week. They know they ain't get it last week.
Okay, so what do we? Go ahead. What, hold that thought. That's a good point. Hold it. Go ahead.
Then you got also people besides somebody.
So is that similar to what you were saying? What if other people are involved, or you just taking somebody else's beef, basically?
Nah, like I'm not involved in it, but like your friend getting a misunderstanding.
Okay.
And like the person that you got a misunderstanding with, like they got people, so you like.
So you got
walking with my man.
Right. Check it out. So all good comments, right? But it's still simple. There was a misunderstanding, and you're right, people egg it on. But what's wrong with turning around, giving me my pen, and walking away? Nothing wrong with it, but you know what happens? Bam, stand up and say that loud. Our pride. Pride almost got me killed. You know why? Because a guy kicked me in my stomach. He kicked me in my stomach. That's the only reason why I chased him. I'm like, who kicks me in the stomach? I'd rather him throw a punch. But listen to me, gentlemen. Listen. Something so simple. My pride, my frustration, my tension, my discomfort. But ultimately, my pride. There's nothing Chance can say to me to want to hit this guy. It shouldn't be to want to hit this guy in the face. And let me tell you something. If you ever get into an altercation or you feel the tension brewing, think about Marlon Moore. And ask yourself, do I want to let my pride today get me killed? How many people know Dr. Dre? Dre Beats. Dre, right? I think it was his, oh, you got some right there. It was his brother, if I'm not mistaken, right? Y'all know the story? No. Brother got into a fight. Two guys knuckle up, one-on-one, shooting a fair one. His brother falls, hits his head on the side of on the concrete. Dead. Dead. He died. Just because of an altercation. So we brought up some good points here. What if it's somebody else's beef?
That's not up for you.
Hmm?
If you got a brother or something, and somebody, but like if he about to get jumped or something, you about to go with him. Like you're not about to let him go. That just brings
Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. All y'all stand up. Y'all stand up over here. Y'all stand up over there. Y'all stand up. Y'all gonna figure this out. All y'all line up real quick. Oh yeah, they're doing a phenomenal job. We got a good example right here because I like something he said. Now, just because you said it, you got your table on the hook now. Y'all got to figure this out. Y'all working together. It's okay. It's no test. All right, y'all stand up. No, y'all got to figure this out. Y'all got to talk us through this. Because apparently the example he brought up touches everybody. And apparently is real and it's something that goes on. So I'm rolling with this crew right here. I want to be over here. So we got beef with y'all. What's your name? Who? Chris. Chris, step out. Now again, these are just examples now, okay? I don't want nobody. Yeah, step out. So me and you got a beef. You step closer. You come closer too. What's your name? Wait a minute. Wait. What y'all doing?
Y'all supposed to be on our inside.
Wait, they did. Or y'all just moving around the chairs? I didn't even get to that example. I'm like, oh, y'all got my back for real. All right, so you see what's happening, right? Y'all paying attention?
Yes.
What's happening?
It's about, no. As soon as the audio
So, but okay, now, and he done came to the front. You like, okay. So here it is. Y'all see what's happening. Y'all see what's happening. Somebody at this table who is observing the situation needs to tell us what to do.
Stop and just talk about it.
That ain't working out.
Okay. Wait. That's not a bad example, but so talking doesn't work. What else should happen?
You gotta tell them something. You gotta tell them something smart. Like, but if you fight, you know you can die right now.
Who? Tell him that?
Tell Chris that, like,
Really?
What? So why would you tell them if he fight him, you're gonna die? That's
Go ahead. Hold on. Shh. Here we go. Shh.
You're not gonna. Nobody within the groups are gonna stop the fight.
Come on, now you're getting there.
The only way that fight is gonna stop is if like a random bystander or somebody tries to calm down. But
No, it ain't. Good. You just about there. You're just about there. Here's what needs to happen, and we're gonna close this out. Here's what needs to happen that doesn't happen enough. Somebody within this crew, you take my place, needs to be like, you know what, dude? Seriously, it ain't that serious. Let's go. Turn around. Everybody go back. Let's go. Now, wait. Check this out. Look how things work. Listen. No. Look how things work. I said to them to do what? Back down. And what did they go do? I didn't say sit down. In just this example, did I say sit down? No. Look at how they behaved. And look at what they did. Just stood there. Now, listen, gentlemen. Listen. Hear me out. Thank you, gentlemen. You can have a seat as well. Hear me out. I know it doesn't always work that way. What I'm suggesting to you all is this. 9 times out of 10, thank you, that was a great suggestion, and thank you all for your participation. 9 times out of 10, cooler, calmer heads prevail. Someone just has to be willing to be the man, the mature one, and say, dude, it's not that serious. So we have to talk. We have to think. We have to breathe. Everybody take a deep breath. I mean, dang, not like that. Just inhale. Exhale. Sometimes it's that simple. You ever got mad and said, you know what your body's naturally doing?
Cooling off.
Cooling off. Cooling off. Let me give you, so that's the street kind of version. I done talked about almost being murdered. We've worked together in how to turn around and kind of try to walk away from a fight. But I said I wanted to share personal examples, right? I'm gonna do one more and then we're gonna open it up for Q&A, try to get us back on track. I mentioned before, and y'all can help me, tell me if I did this right. I work for a $94 billion regional bank out of the Midwest. I'm going into a meeting with our CEO, and I'm sitting in the waiting room with one of my colleagues who's has a higher position than I do. Right before we meet with one of the most powerful men in the state of Ohio, she says to me, "You cannot present what's on page 5. Huh? So he wanted us to bring the material. I can't present what's on page 5. I said, well, why not? Well, the board hasn't seen the material yet. Now, let me say it to you like this. Imagine going to meet with Jay-Z. You're an aspiring rapper. You're going to meet with Jay-Z, and you got your demo ready to go, and your buddy say, we ain't gonna let Jay-Z hear the demo. What was I supposed to do? Who? Somebody said box. That defeats the purpose. We can't be out there tussling in the waiting room.
You have to explain to him that.
It was a she, but that's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess how important it is for you to present the paper.
Excellent. That's a great suggestion. Great suggestion. What else? And I tried that. Great suggestion. I said, well, you know he wanted to see this material. Yeah, I know, but we're just not doing it.
What was on page 5?
Material that he asked for. Some serious material. Mm-hmm. You know what was happening? Conflict, tension. So she didn't want me to present what was on page 5 because it made me look good and not her. She had a higher position. I can't come in outshining in front of the CEO. Yes, what was I supposed to do?
Okay, so you're going to go present what's on page 5. CEO
Yep.
higher than her, right?
Oh yeah, he leads the whole company, $94 billion. He's the man.
But then just present it because what she said, she's under him, so what he says goes.
Okay, that's tough, but sometimes you got to manage it. One more, and I'm gonna tell you what I did. All good points, though. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. Like, if he's overheard, then she has no jurisdiction over you. If you're going to a higher person.
Nah, you gotta take that in.
I could get in trouble. Okay, so hold on. All good comments. I like what you're thinking. Can I get in trouble? Can I get fired? Somebody said take the L. You know the first thing I did? Seriously, you know the first thing I did? Because this is going down in the lobby right before we go in. The first thing I did is what I just asked y'all to do. Breathe. I was hot. I was a level 10. I was ready to go here. The first thing I had to do was calm down and breathe. Then I very simply, somebody made the comment, I asked, and why can't we present the information? Very respectfully. So we get in the boardroom. The CEO asked for, very specifically, page 5. Tension, misunderstanding, all kind of stuff going on in my head. You know what I wanted to say? I wanted to say something that probably wasn't smart. But you know what I did? When he said, for the information on page 5, I turned to my colleague and I said, would you like to present the information? She said, no. You can present it. So ultimately, the power the leverage, whatever you want to look at, it shifted back to me. What's the moral of the story, Marlon? If I allow myself to let all of this information, all of this stuff going on, impact me here and go into the boardroom with the CEO of the company, I make myself look stupid. Because you know what he did? He looked directly at her and looked at her and asked her why she's having someone beneath her present the information on page 5. But if you let your emotions, things that are going on, if you let that stuff that can impact you, if you let that handle you, you will take your opportunity and you will blow it. So all I'm saying is think, breathe, relax, be willing to problem solve, be willing to walk away. Because ultimately, things can turn around and work in your favor. We started out, conflict is not always bad. How we handle it is the problem. Q&A. Let's go. Yep.
I'm wondering, how did you get your connections? And like if you could explain how you got your connections to what you're doing now.
Oh, that's a good question. So, we're going to talk about this, I think, in the next session, but networking. Networking. So a gentleman that I know, went to high school with, who lives in Baltimore, knows Ms. Arundel, who connected me with this great organization, Mr. Kelly, the 13th man, and I was able to come here and participate. All because I know somebody who knew somebody who knows you all, and here I am able to share a life-threatening, life-altering story just because of our network. Good question. Yes, sir.
So you said your bank brings in $94 billion a year. How's that distributed? I'm on.
I get 93. No, I'm just playing. You're like, dude. So, oh man. So that's a great question. So actually we have $94 billion in assets. So that's every area that we own: commercial portfolio, buildings, technology. What happens is banks take in loans. We make deposits. And so from that you gain interest. You invest that, and that money grows. And a lot of times we put it in human people, so that's why I have a job. So part of that money goes into salaries, people you hire. It goes into technology. It goes into making the business operate so we can generate more money. But a lot of it is also investments. So more specifically, my role with the company is to identify minority, women, veteran, and LGBT, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender businesses and invest in those companies. It's called supplier diversity. So I actually manage $350 million in spend with those companies. So the reason why I'm here is from one step at a time. I started that company a few years ago so I could come back and do these type of workshops, because there's a difference between working in the corporate boardroom, as you heard Mr. Kelly say earlier, and then being able to come and deliver these type of workshops and give back. Give back. That's why I'm here. Passion, purpose, give back. Make sure y'all don't blow your lives. Make sure you don't let what's underneath the surface get you into a situation that you can't get out of, and to make sure that you have the tools, skills necessary to be successful. That's the main reason for why I'm here. Thank you. Any more? Any more about conflict or anything like that?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So the first time that happened, when that decision was made, where
thank you,
your road to where you are today could have ended because of the decision, how quickly did you realize that actually affected your life? Meaning that it's easy to talk about where we are today and say, man, and to come back to young men and talk about, but the next morning to realize how fortunate you were, or was it 1 week, or was it immediate? That's a great question. It was the next morning.
The next morning, so my fraternity has we had a program where we took the students on campus to church. Ironically, that next morning, that's where we were going. I was sitting in church, and I actually remember saying, I'm supposed to be dead. I'm supposed to be dead. I mean, I can't even fathom, and I hope no one has experienced the notion of staring down the barrel of a gun, all because I was hot-headed. And so I sat there in church. I was like, thank you, God, because I'm not supposed to be here. In today's world, more than likely, and it could have happened then, but the way cats is gun clapping and people getting shot every day. Oh, I don't still say that no more? Was that our word? Were they shooting? Oh, okay. I mean, I don't want to know the word, but yeah, you know. The way that happens today, I would have got shot. So it was the next morning. It was the next morning. It was funny, I told my father, who lives in Alabama, that I was coming here. And he had never heard the story before. So just today is, what, Friday? I talked to him Wednesday. That was the first time I had ever shared that story with him. And I told him I was going to share that with the group, with you all today. So it was the next day, and I'll tell that story for the remainder of my life because it's a real live example of how just being stupid. And even now, I use that. You know, I have a buddy who's hot-headed. Very simply, we're at Panini's. He's mad because he don't have onions the way he wanted them on his sub. Now check this out. I'm going to be honest. It was a racial thing starting to occur. Remember the level? Who had the level? The tension, the misunderstanding? The guy of another race didn't like what he was saying to him. Said, well, you get the onions how we get them. My friend who's paying saying, why the hell do I got to just get onions the way you give them to me? And he almost jumped over the counter to put his hands on that guy. And you know what? What role I played? I was at this table. I was in that group. Somebody has to be the cooler head. So we ended up, man, leaving $10 on the table for a panini that didn't even get eaten. But imagine that versus going to jail. Here I am working for a bank, trying to come talk to students, and I'm in jail because I'm fighting over a freaking panini. I'm sorry, over a stupid panini. Onions on a panini, right? So, we got it? Tell me something you learned from conflict management. No. Tell me something you internalized. You know the difference? Yeah. Well, give it to me.
Take the situation, like, you going into a fight and just, like, allow that and raise up and you just walk away from it. It don't matter if people saying, oh, you're done and stuff. I mean, you're doing the better thing. You don't got to get in trouble for that. So you can just go on with your day.
That's a great point. That's an excellent point. I mean, some of the most successful athletes on the basketball court or the football field, they channel it. They channel that frustration, that tension, that anger, that rage, and they do good with it. They make it work for them. So that's way more positive than letting it go, getting a flag. Now you got a 15-yard penalty. Now you lose. Been there, done that. Trust me, it doesn't work. Not me, but I play it with guys. I'm like, dude, calm down. Are you serious? That's 15 yards the other way. Can't handle it. All right. Good job.